Cuz, what's up? October the 29th is your day. Happy birthday. You know I won't forget in this episode. Let's go.
Man, listen, welcome back to the Finesse Media Podcast, Season 7. I'm your host, Ken Finesse Media. And as I mentioned to you each and every week, I bring to you something brand new, but again, always someone brand new. But this time, it's not someone new. She's actually been on the podcast before. Season 5, I believe it was, right? She's been on the podcast before, so she is not new to the podcast, but let me introduce to some and reintroduce to others. She's my cousin. She's a CEO. She's an entrepreneur. She is also a mom. She's an aunt. We're going to talk about it all, but again, she's welcoming back us with a new tassel she turned, earning her master's degree in educational. What was it? Educational. Help me out. Leadership. I got it all right here. I don't want to butcher it up, and I don't want to mess up your intro anymore, man. Welcome back to the podcast, my cousin Tierra House, man. What's up?
Ooh, what's up, cuz?
Man, listen, I said, you're doing a whole lot of stuff, and it's gonna mess me up trying to say it all. So I had to write it down. If y'all think I'm joking, I had to write it all down because she's definitely finessing the game. Welcome back, cuz.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. I am.
So how you doing? Before we jump into it, I got some wine here that I want to toast to this it's graduation season, not too far away. So I want to give you a toast, man, and say congratulations, cuz not only finessing the game as a mom and as an aunt, as a dope sister, as a go-to cousin for sure for all of us. But you're a dope ass educator and a scholastic son of a gun. Earning your master's degree, man. Congratulations. I'll toast to that.
Thank you.
For sure. So let's get started in this journey. I don't think the last time we talked much about your roots and stuff like that and where you grew up and how that changed you and molded you into the woman and again, an entrepreneur and the professional that you are. So let's just jump right into it. You're born and raised in Chicago, but raised in Minnesota.
Yes.
Two different cities, two totally different cities. But how did growing up in Chicago and in those environments shape you and help you identify and help you become the woman that you are today?
So we left Chicago when I was about 7 years old. So I was basically born in Chicago and I was really raised, I would say I was raised in Minnesota because I know way more about Minnesota than I do Chicago. I still need a GPS when I'm in Chicago.
Me too.
Minnesota. Okay. So I'm not the only one. But I think that how that really shaped who I am as a person, it just lets me know how to be resilient and how to persevere through things, how to understand in life. Things may not go sometimes as you plan. We may have bumps in our road, but how do we get back up? How do we get back up and how do we still break those generational curses? Being the first person within my immediate family to graduate college, I did everything by myself, far as like my financial aid, not knowing anything about college to even really turn to my parents or, my immediate siblings. So I think that hard part from Chicago, understanding like where I was from and understanding like we here now and what do I do and how do I push forward and make sure that I'm breaking all of those chains, making sure that I'm breaking all those barriers and really being the role model that I want to in myself that I want to see in our future generation. When I look at my nieces, my nephews, my son, my second cousins and, so all of that. So I think, having that roots from Chicago, and with my dad and my mom being those hardworking people that they are, I think that really what motivated me. I think that it's the environment, but it's really that individual.
I always say that it really is. Environment affects behavior, and you're the sum total of the 5 people you constantly associate yourself with, I find too. So environment affects behavior, but the old adage that birds of a feather do flock together, and that is some truth to that. And the whole no new friends thing is crazy because sometimes you have to get into places and around people that's going to codify and really support your goals. So yeah, dope ass parents for sure. Hardworking people that's from the Midwest. So Chicago and Minnesota, two different places, but it's still that Midwest blue collar grind. Yeah, which is what I love about being from Chicago, but just other people that's in the Midwest. I'd say if you're from Milwaukee, if you're from Indiana, you still have that same drive and go to. So, no, I understand that. But listen, you spent over a decade in education talking about moving and the journey and on, but you spent over a decade in education. You started off as a teacher assistant, and now you're serving as an intervention specialist. What kept you anchored in education, and how has that path informed your work with the young girls?
Oh wow. I would say starting off in education, I know that I've been working since I was 14. So starting off in education when I was about 24, turning 25, I remember feeling like I want a job where I could get up and it doesn't feel like a job. I remember being at work like I don't like this. Like I don't feel like I'm filling my cup up. Like I don't feel self fulfilled when I leave here. It doesn't. It I don't feel really whole. I feel like I'm just here just to punch a clock just to make $1. Being in education, I truly feel like it's a lifestyle for me. It doesn't really feel like work when I get up in the morning. I just know that I'm serving a purpose. I always look at it as like throwing a rock in a crowd. I may not hit everybody, but I may hit someone. And just me being 10 years in and seeing students that I had when I first started, even when I first started my girls group in 2019, those girls was about 21, 22, 23. Just seeing them now and the influence that I have had on those kids' life, it fills me up because it's like, you know what, you're serving your purpose. And coming from Minnesota, where a lot of our schools are not diverse, meaning our teachers and our staff. I remember being in school. I think I only had one Black teacher my whole entire school years, besides when I was in Chicago. So from 7 years old all the way up, I only had one Black teacher, and I remember like one Black support staff. So being able to represent um, showing kids that representation matters. Like they able to see people that look like them that are excelling, that are getting their education and really providing them a way of life that they may not see in their community. So for me, that's what fills me up, and that's what makes me drive to continue the work that I do with our youth, because I know that it's different from hearing it from people that look like you and actually seeing them elevate in their life. And it makes kids, I was that kid, it makes you feel more comfortable. It makes you feel like, oh, these dreams are achievable. Like I'm not seeing it on TV, I'm seeing it right here in my face.
That's what I'm thinking the whole time you're talking about representation. I remember, and you would too, like growing up watching the Cosbys, and you didn't see a lot of Black families, and they were intentional making that Cliff Huxtable, the husband, was a doctor, and making sure that Miss Claire Huxtable, the wife, was a lawyer. And so making sure that they were high degree achievers and that they had really codified a lifestyle for their family. It didn't make them feel like they didn't have to work, so they still instill those habits and those work habits. So no, I believe that representation matters. Is really who you see, but not just on TV. Like you said, you're doing it in real life, in real time. And
Yeah.
man, let's not even belabor that and talk about it, because you are the executive director and co-founder of S.H.I.N.E, which stands for Sisters Helping in Neighborhoods Everywhere. S.H.I.N.E. We're showing the logo right now. And so, what inspired you? Cuz what inspired the creation of this movement back in 2015 when you started it? And how was it? And how has it evolved into the center voices and growth for the young women?
Yeah. What inspired me as I grew up, my school was pretty much, it was more diverse when it comes to the student population. So I just remember growing up, and I remember always hearing from my mom and from like other friends, like, I don't want to hang out with females. They're messy. They're this, they're that. And it was always Black females. And even myself being the center point of a lot of drama with girls, it was only me having drama with girls that look like me. It was the Black girls. Like we always getting into fight. We always getting into drama. So I knew as I got older and I started building like so many meaningful connections with so many women, especially Black women, it really changed my mind and changed my whole philosophy of how when Black women come together, how we unite. And as I started in 2015, it was just women of us just kind of getting together, talking about what it's like to be a parent, what it's like to be in our professional life, what it's like to be like in our personal life. We would just get up to libraries. Maybe we'll go for happy hour and have drinks and food, but we'll just kind of talk about the issues that we're going through and just kind of as a support group. Well, I noticed like a lot of the things that we are going through as grown women were things that we were taught or things we were not taught as young girls. So that's kind of how the girls group philosophy came about. Like, let's get our kids young, so then once we instill in them the meaning and how powerful sisterhood is amongst people that look like them and other sisters. Like I said, sisters is any color, any shape, any form, but it's primarily for our black and our brown girls. So it's like once you get that instilled in you, I think it opened a lot more doors for me to take that weight off of me, that I feel like I can't be open to women that look like me, or I can't come in unity with us. Like, we're so much more powerful together. So that's kind of how S.H.I.N.E Girls Group started. I want the girls to really create sisterhood with each other, community with each other. And it all starts from self. More than anything, self-esteem, self-confidence. Yeah. It's hard being a black or brown girl in America. Like, our children, our girls are not treated the same as any other race, and it's hard being a black girl. We have it's so many different things that our girls are going through, whether it's in school or whether it's family wise. So being able to be that safe space for our girls and that sisterhood for them, where we're actually coming together, we're meeting them where they're at, and giving them a way to be able to achieve their dreams and their goals. So that's kind of, that's where S.H.I.N.E came from.
And
And
Sean,
everyone
go
deserves
ahead.
to shine.
No, go ahead. Say that
Everyone
again.
deserves to shine.
Yeah, every
Every
girl deserves to shine. I love that. I love that. And speaking of just that again, just staying on topic right there before we jump into the next part of the conversation. But Shine offers a power 6-month curriculum that does more than educate; it empowers. So, what are some of the transformation you witness in the girls who come through the program?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, we just came from our fundraiser today, actually. That's what we finished up today. So we're going on our third HBCU tour. And the biggest thing that I have noticed with our girls, the confidence in themselves, the confidence to be able to be who they are, be able to speak in front of people, to be able to communicate how they're feeling, being able to identify their emotions, being able to articulate their words, has been huge. I hear it all the time from the girls. I hear from their parents. I hear from their teachers and, their coaches. And that's what fills me up. And that's what S.H.I.N.E is about. Them going in each room and being able to shine their light and being okay with shining their light, not having to dim their light. So that confidence has been huge. Confidence and exposure.
I mean, listen, as the top of the episode, as mentioned, so many titles from being a mom, being an aunt, being a sister, to being an educator, to be a teacher, to be an influencer, to be again the co-founder and executive director of Shine. You're constantly pouring into others. How do you make time to protect your own peace, joy, and growth?
Um, That's great. Amazing question, because within my job as a behavior specialist, so I read a book called The Four Agreements back in 2013, 14. And one of the biggest things that I have learned with the Four Agreements is how to separate myself from others. And what that means is like really still being able to stand on who I am, regardless of the things that happen and around me, and understanding the control I have for myself. So what I do a lot, once I leave work and once I leave the girls, I try to really reflect on myself and my emotions and how I'm feeling about things, and really trying to identify with that. On top of that, I'm a huge believer in therapy to take care of your mental health, like we take care of our physical health, like we take care of our emotional health, like really take care of that mental and have an outlet to be able to share things with that we may not share with our close family and our friends. So for me, that's the biggest thing, understanding what I can control and what I cannot. And being able to, it's a book, another book I read that's called it's about self love, but the what they say is that knowing where you end and I begin. And that's huge for me, knowing where I have to disconnect with other people and their feelings and their things that they have going on, and knowing where I begin. And that has been huge in my personal life and my professional life, with understanding that, hey, Tierra, this is because I'm a Scorpio. We are super, I don't even want to say controlling, but we just like to have things a certain type of way. We need to know what's going on. We just need it to be like this. And that on this side makes sense unless it's like this. So I have really learned for my own self care and to take care of myself, like kind of let things happen the way that they need to happen, stay grounded within you, be very intentional with the work you do and the decisions that you make, and don't be impulsive.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Think about it. Don't make a decision so hastily. Think about it. Even a purchase in the store, for God's sakes. I was just at the store earlier. Somebody said, like, keep it in the car. But then when you get to the register, just think about it again. You may not want it. So don't be impulsive. And that's why those things right there, cigarette lighters, Twix, all that's right there, because they want you to impulsively buy.
Yes.
So what happens is, as an impulse, is that at the end of the conversation is like almost over, man. I feel like it's enough time for me to highlight the things you're doing on this platform. But I just want to take a slice out your time and a slice out your day so you can let me know what you've been up to. Let your people also who's watching know what you're doing and how you're inspired and what you continue to do. So before I let you go, I got 30 seconds, man. Tell me, who's that person for you? You're that person for sure. For me, that's finessing the game. But who's that person that comes to mind? It's my legendary question. You answered it before. But who's that person that comes to mind when you think that's finessing the game? And it doesn't have to be in education. It can be in any field. But that person that comes to mind. 30 seconds.
Okay. I think that person that comes to mind for me with the work that I do, I can honestly say the girls. The girls that I work with, just to see their growth, just to see the motivation, just to see them push. Because I get joy out of that, because I'm like, they getting these skills now. So imagine what they gonna be at 20, 25, 30 years old at my age, so they are finessing the game. And I do want to shout out, because my girls, we are fundraising. We are going on our 3rd annual HBCU tour in October. We are going to Mississippi and Louisiana. And we are it'll be 11 girls and 3 chaperones. So we are fundraising. And of course, the group is nonprofit. So we are looking for any donations, any sponsorship. You can check out our website at www.weshinetogether.org. Any donations is
right at the bottom, y'all. So if you don't know how to spell, it's right at the bottom.
So definitely support our girls, support our youth, support the vision, knowing that we are investing in our youth. Our youth is our future. And do not forget, every girl deserves to shine.
Every girl deserves to shine. Cause you keep shining, keep finessing the game. I love you forever, man.
I love you.
And I will say you got to come back, but this is the final season. So I'm bringing dope people back and I'm introducing some more dope people. So thank you, y'all, so much for watching this episode with my cousin Tierra House, holding it down. So many titles. They're all listed below by her name. So keep finessing the game, cuz. And this HBCU of the week is Alabama State University. So shout out to Alabama State down there, holding it down for the Hornets. You've been watching another episode of the Finesse Media Podcast, Season 7. I'm your host, Ken Finesse Media, and I'll see you next week with something brand new. Peace.
Right.